guys, so I've been getting a lot of requests on how I do my winged liner. So right now it's kind of dramatic, but because in a lot of my looks I do winged liner because I think that it really pulls the look together, and it can be kind of tricky to do, and you kind of have to have the right eyeliner, and there's a lot of different methods, but there's kind of a couple of main things that you want to do no matter what method. But first, I want to talk about the different kind of eyeliners that you can use for doing winged liner. Is to use a felt tip. This one is Ruby Kiss, but the writing rubbed off somehow. And basically this is like a marker tip. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. But it gives like a really, because of that really defined edge, it gives a really, it can give like a really thin wing, but you can also build it up. So this is my favorite and my preference. You can also use a brush, like this one by L'Oreal. It's the Linear Intense eyeliner, and a lot of people seem to like this. I don't like this as much because I don't like using a brush. I don't know, it's wobbly. Like a felt tip is very stiff, so you have a lot of control. So these guys, I don't know, like the brush does wobble and it's harder to get a defined edge. But it's a nice consistency, I guess. It gives a really matte black finish. However, I think that just this brand in particular, the L'Oreal Linear Intense, dries kind of crispy and it can like crack if you put too much on. Another one I have, another felt tip liner that I have is this one by e.l.f. And I don't know, I really liked it at first, but once it got kind of old, I don't know, the consistency got really gunky, and it definitely does that cracking thing that the Linear Intense does. Another option, I have this one by e.l.f. It's a waterproof liner. It's a felt tip, and it's a really nice one actually. The only problem is it's not as pigmented. So you can see this one. Okay, I smudged it already. It's not done drying. And this one is probably the least waterproof one that I have, and it's the actual waterproof liner, but it seems to smudge a lot. And it's also kind of glittery a little bit, and I much prefer a very matte liner, a gel liner. Everybody seems to really like these Maybelline Eye Studio ones. I have this one in Blackest Black, and it's a really nice consistency. It's very creamy. It goes on a very matte. So this is the one that most people would use. This is a Sigma 266, and it's just this little angled brush. I don't like this because it's kind of thick, if you guys can see that. It's really hard for me to move all this stuff around because my camera is backwards when I'm filming on my webcam. But yeah, it's thicker, so you don't get as much of a defined line. But this does, you don't need to kind of draw the line, you can kind of tap it on and you'll get a really clean line anyways. But it is hard to get that really defined wing with this one. And that is why I really prefer the Sigma 209. They've changed all the names for their brushes, so they're like, this is like E something now for eye, so I don't know what it's called now. But basically this would be the MAC 209. And it is like just a fine tipped one, but it's still pretty thick, as you can see. So it's hard to get that defined line. So what I actually prefer to do is use paint brushes. I love Low Cornell because you can get all kinds of different brushes from them. And this is my favorite. This is actually a Robert Simmons brush, and it's the angled shader brush. And you can see that can get very, very thin. So you can get really nice definition. It is wide though, but it's really good to be able to kind of pack it on, but you can also get that really nice defined wing. So I really love this one. And then I have these two by Low Cornell. They're really thin, especially this one. And this one's a little thicker, and it doesn't have that really defined edge, so it can be a little tougher. But this guy is so thin, like you don't even really see it. And it's great for creating that really defined line at the edge, especially if you just want a really thin line on your lid, whereas I like a little bit thicker. And then they also, some people like to use like a small kind of rounded brush. This is the small smudge brush from e.l.f. And it is thin, but it's rounded. And so you can create a wing with it. And it's a little bit more difficult, but it can actually give you a lot nicer result. So those are the brushes that I would use to apply a gel liner, like so. Now, my only problem with a gel liner is that it does not dry like a liquid liner. And so it goes on like a crayon, and it smudges a lot. So if you get a really defined wing and everything, you would have to like set it, and I would set it with a black eyeshadow. I love this mineral one from e.l.f. It's called, I think it's called Carbon. Okay, no, Seductive. And it's a really, really matte black, and it's great for setting eyeliners. But even then, you can still get, like, if your wing is kind of dramatic, like mine, when you open your eyes, then the way my eyes are, that, like, what's closest to my lash line hits my crease, and throughout the day, you know, just from sweat and oils that build up on your eyes, you'll get this black line right here. And that's not attractive. It's not clean looking. So this is the gel liner, this really thick black one. And as you can see, it hasn't dried, so I can smudge it a lot. So I would recommend a gel liner for, like, if you wanted to do a smoky eye that didn't involve like a thick line or anything, but you wanted that dramatic, deep black color. And then there's also, you can use like pencils and crayon liners. It's harder to get that defined wing, but you can do it. I used to use just this MAC, this is their Technicolor liner, and this is in Graph Black. And it's their retractable one, and you can get that line, but you have the same problem that you'll come with a gel liner. It won't dry. And then also just using a basic like crayon style liner. So I would definitely recommend going for a liquid, like one of these guys. I'm going to be using my Ruby Kisses liner in my demonstration today, because I'm just going to show you guys really quickly how I would do like these wings, I guess. So keep watching if you want to find out how I do that. Bye. So what's going to be most important with this look is making sure that the liner is a continuation of your waterline. You should usually start in the middle of your lash line and then kind of dab the brush towards the inner corner. You can work on making longer strokes as you work outward towards the wing. Typically, after I have a general outline of my wing, I like to go backwards on it to get it as dark and defined as I can. You want to just keep editing that corner until you have something that's smooth and natural looking. And that's your finished result. Thanks for watching, guys.